The rustling in the cabin wakes me up. I stretch as a groan escapes me. We still have that class activity. Why couldn't they have just given us the whole morning free? Oh well, I don't want to be late. Rolling out of bed, I grab my clothes and head to the restroom to get ready. Afterwards, I meet up with Kosei and the two of us exit the cabin. We join up with the rest of the class and spot our friends. Mina's as energetic as always.
Hey guys, did you sleep well?
Yeah, that soak in the hot spring really relaxed me. I fell asleep right away.
Yeah, same.
It's a shame we're returning home so soon.
I would have liked to explore some more.
Same? Or have more time in the hot spring at least.
You could go back after class and before we leave.
Mina brightens.
True. We have some time before we go home. I might just do that. Thanks, Kira.
She nods, a small smile lifting her mouth.
Huh. I might do that too.
Mina and Kosei look at each other. Are they remembering what happened yesterday? Miss Sato arrives just in time and gathers everyone's attention. She leads us through another history and health lesson, but this time we get to spend it in the quaint gardens. The beautiful scenery and serenity lifts my spirits, and I find it easier to focus, but I'm still itching for class to end. I want to make the most of my remaining time here. Finally, class is over. As soon as Miss Sato dismisses us, everyone scatters. As I'm deciding what I want to do, Erilynn approaches me.
Come, we are going to explore.
We are? Explore what?
The garden trails.
She grabs my hand and begins walking. I allow her to lead me down the path. I have no objection to spending time with Erilynn alone in a secluded garden. In fact, that is exactly what I want. She looks over as I fall into step beside her.
Aren't you going to object?
Nope.
Or tell me I should have asked first?
I shake my head. She smirks.
If only you were always this obedient.
Please don't hurt me. We wander the quaint path, enjoying the serenity of the garden. The flowers open their petals wide, showing off their radiant colors. Their soft perfume is light and refreshing. When we reach the fork in the road, I automatically head towards the left, but Erilynn stops me.
Where are you going?
I blink. That's the path we took last time. Didn't you want to visit the fruit trees again? Erilynn shakes her head, her cheeks blushing pink at the memory.
We certainly don't need a repeat of last time's debacle.
That's probably for the best.
Let's see what's down this path instead.
She steps onto the trail on the right. Sounds good to me. We continue walking in silence. The quiet is actually comforting. Erilynn enjoys the hanging foliage and occasionally touches a leaf or a petal as she walks by. Every so often she'll stop to admire a flower. Suddenly she freezes.
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
Listen.
I strain my ears and catch the faint sound of running water. Water? She grins.
Let's go find it.
Erilynn steps off the trail and heads into the trees. Wait up! I hurry after her. We push through the greenery, our feet crunching on fallen twigs and leaves. The further we wander, the louder the roar of water becomes. Erilynn and I exchange grins and pick up the pace. Soon we arrive at a small clearing at the bottom of a mountain. A majestic waterfall kisses the sky, spouting liquid silver, which splashes into a deep blue pool. Small waves ripple across the surface. Misty droplets catch in the sun, shimmering in the air like fairy dust. Squinting, I look up at the towering waterfall, my breath catching in my throat. I glance over and Erilynn's face is tilted in wonder towards the waterfall. Her eyes are wide and sparkling, and a smile lights up her face.
It's beautiful.
It is pretty amazing.
It's more than just amazing. It's magnificent. A true testament to beauty and the power of nature. I've never seen anything like it before.
I blink. You don't have waterfalls in Belden? She gives me a flat look.
Of course we do.
Then why do you seem so surprised? Her look softens.
The waterfalls in Belden are certainly larger and more extravagant. After all, this tiny one can't even compare to the one sculpted in the royal grounds. But they're all man-made.
Tiny one? The top of the cliff disappears into the sky. I can't imagine what Erilynn would consider a big one to be.
And those were all intended to look a certain way. Someone spent hours planning and replanning to achieve the perfect balance and feel. Knowing that this small enclave and little waterfall is naturally occurring adds an element of elegance and wonder.
I paused, thinking over her words. When I consider how much time it must have taken the water to carve this path in the mountain, it does add an element of elegance. I'd always been surrounded by natural scenery, so I took it for granted. Velden seems more and more mysterious to me the more I learn about it. They're much more advanced than we are in many ways, so I'd never considered that it might be lacking in other areas. While I'm lost in thought, Erilynn begins unbuttoning her top. My eyes widen and I sputter. Erilynn?
Yes?
What are you doing? She huffs.
What does it look like?
I
want to swim, of course.
Right, swimming. That's what I was gonna say. She resumes undoing her shirt. But why are you removing your clothes?
So they don't get wet. Do you really not understand something so basic? Take yours off, too.
So, we'll go with the... Let's do it. She doesn't have to tell me twice. Tug on my tie and fumble with the buttons on my shirt, racing to take everything off. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Rip off my pants and I'm about to pull out of my boxers when Erilynn yells at me.
Stop! What are you doing?
Undressing? Her cheeks flush pink.
Not that much.
But they'll get wet.
Those are allowed to. Now less talking, please, and more swimming.
With her shirt and skirt removed, Erilynn quickly dives into the water. As she bobs back up to the surface, she smooths down her hair. Swallowing my disappointment with a sigh, I jump in behind her. She giggles, the pink slowly fading from her cheeks. We play in the water, dodging and splashing each other. With the sun shining, the pool is the perfect temperature. The roar of the waterfall is soothing and calming. As I take in the tranquility, I never want to leave.
I like this a lot more.
I crane my neck to look at Erilynn. Like what?
Swimming with someone else.
I furrow my brow, still confused.
Back in Velden, I have my own private pool underneath the falls. I used to swim there when I wanted a moment to myself. And if I was bored of that, I could go to the many other pools in the palace. But in all of those pools, I was always swimming alone.
I listen quietly. It's rare for Erilynn to suddenly open up like this, and I want her to feel comfortable talking.
I thought that's what I wanted, because if no one else was there, then they couldn't tell me what to do. But floating in this water with you?
She holds my gaze for a moment, a small smile forming.
I think I like it more than being alone.
It isn't really a great option here. These are all supportive. I like being with me too. In that case, why don't we take advantage of this time alone together? I float beside her and take her hand in mine, raising my eyebrows suggestively. She arches a delicate brow in response.
Aren't we already doing that?
Yes and no. I can think of an activity to do together, alone.
Me too. It's called swimming, and we're already doing it.
Erilynn smiles and playfully slips away. Suddenly she sneezes. I blink, glancing at her. We should get out of the water before you get sick.
A princess doesn't get sick so easily.
Another sneeze interrupts her. Yeah, let's go. She nods reluctantly. We climb out of the pool and draw off as much as possible. My nose tickles as I get redressed and let out a sneeze. Erilynn blinks, then giggles. Our wet underclothes soak through our uniforms, but at least we aren't dripping. Erilynn squeezes the water out of her hair, and the two of us head back towards the garden trail, sneezing and laughing. We soon loop back to where we started. Erilynn sneezes and sniffles. You better hurry back. She smiles.
So should you.
We say goodbye and Erilynn hurries towards the girls' cabin. I return to the cabin and change my clothes for the bus ride, then I quickly pack up all my stuff. I'm a bit sad to leave, I'm also looking forward to sleeping in my own bed again. I regroup with everyone on the bus, the girls already there chatting with each other.
Goodbye, Hot Springs. You will be sorely missed.
Did you end up going one last time?
Yep, and it was amazing.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Did you borrow Kosuke? Can't remember the dude's name. That's kind of sad. Kosei's rubber ducks? My classmates each filter onto the bus, and I'm beginning to get worried. Where's Kosei? Well, later I see him scramble on board, plops into the seat next to me.
Man, that was a close one.
Yeah, you almost got left behind.
It wouldn't be the worst thing.
I grin. There are definitely worse places to be stranded. After everyone is settled and accounted for, the bus roars to life and we begin our journey home. I stare out of the window, watching the trees fly by in a blur of green. It's strangely comforting, and I feel my eyelids droop. Before I know it, I'm asleep. Suddenly, I'm shaken awake. Huh?
We're here.
I nod, then gather my stuff. As I group up with my friends, I stifle a yawn. What time is it? Must be late.
Well, it's pretty late. I need to get home before my mom gets worried.
Kira nods.
I should go home too.
Yeah, same with us. We all say goodbye and everyone splits their separate ways.
Mom and Dad should be here any minute to pick us up.
Squinting in the dark, I spot someone waving at us. Uncle Hajime?
Hey, kids!
He stands beside his car and we hurry over.
Hi, Dad. You're right on time.
Of course, I didn't want to leave you kids waiting for too long.
Thanks, Uncle Hajime. That's really nice of you.
Yes, thank you. It's much appreciated.
Mina breaks into a grin and throws her arms around him.
Aw, Dad. You're the best.
Uncle Hajime chuckles.
All right. Now let's go before Emiko wonders why we're taking so long.
We eagerly scoot into the car and Uncle Hajime drives us home. Once we return to the house, a flood of comfort rushes through me. It's good to be back. Stifling another yawn, I say goodnight and make a beeline to my room. Toss my stuff randomly in a corner and quickly change and brush my teeth. Then I fall into my bed. Oh, how I've missed you. Hugging my pillow, I drift into a deep sleep. I wake up feeling groggy after our late night return. Our time at the hot springs felt like a mini vacation. Feels weird going back to school today. I flip the blankets off me and slide out of bed, then I get ready for school. The kitchen is empty when I arrive, and both Erilynn and Mina's bags are missing. They must have gone to school early for their club meetings. Luckily, I don't have to wake up early for my club, whatever it is. Just as I'm about to browse through the fridge, Uncle Hajime enters carrying a freshly baked loaf of milk bread.
Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Hajime. He looks around the kitchen.
Where are the girls?
They left earlier.
Oh, that's too bad. They're missing out on this soft, fluffy bread.
He sets the loaf on the table. The fresh, sweet smell makes my mouth water. But I'm here.
Then eat up.
I cut myself a slice and spread it with butter before eagerly digging in. It's delicious as always. Uncle Hajime grins.
I wanted to surprise everybody with breakfast after your late night yesterday, but I didn't expect everyone to leave so early.
That's really nice of you, Uncle Hajime.
Do you mind bringing it to school? You could share with the girls and your friends, just in case anyone skipped breakfast.
Why would I? Screw those guys. Will do.
I appreciate it. As thanks, there'll be a little treat for you when you get home.
Thanks, but you don't have to do that.
Just look for it.
Uncle Hajime gives me a wink before heading back to the bakery. I grab my bag and rush out of the house. I keep up a quick pace as I walk to school. Before long, I pass through the broad gates and cut across the courtyard. After entering the building, I find my classroom and take my seat. My friends are all gathered in a tight circle. As I sit down, I hand Erilynn and Mina their breakfast and share the rest of the loaf with Kosei and Kira. Hey, guys, what's going on? Kosei looks around.
Shh. Not so loud.
Huh?
We're talking about the amulet.
He whispers the last two words. Why is that a secret?
You know, because Erilynn's
He looks around, then whispers again.
Velden?
Mina shakes her head.
We never should have told him. He keeps making a big deal out of it.
It is a big deal.
Maybe we should return to the task at hand.
Yeah, what exactly did I miss? Erilynn huffs.
It has been 2 whole days and we still haven't discovered who the amulet belongs to.
That's really not that long.
It is an eternity.
We've narrowed it down that it must be somebody from our school.
We have?
Yes, we found it when our class had the hot springs reserved.
That's true, which means the only people visiting the springs at that time were people from our school.
Could someone have dropped it earlier?
Maybe, but I didn't see it when we entered.
Me neither. And I found it right next to the water when we left, which means someone dropped it during our reservation.
Then, in order to discover who owns it, we just need to know who visited the hot spring while you were there.
She stares at us.
Well, who was there?
I don't know what you think we do in the hot spring, but it's not checking out other dudes.
Mina sighs.
Yeah, that's a good start, but doesn't actually narrow it down by much.
Erilynn, is there anything on that amulet that can help us? She shakes her head.
It's a common token meant to ward away evil and disaster.
Clearly it doesn't work.
Why? Because this person lost it?
No, because Kosei was able to touch it.
Hey!
Mina snickers. Kira remains thoughtful.
It seems this person must be superstitious.
Our conversation is cut short by Miss Sato entering the classroom. We can continue this later. My friends nod and we scoot ourselves back into place. Miss Sato clears her throat.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all rested and rejuvenated and ready to get back to work.
A half-hearted muttering is the only response.
I'm sure that will change once we get started. Please open your textbooks.
Miss Sato begins the class, and I do my best to focus on the lesson, but my thoughts keep wandering. Who else in this school is Veldin? I quickly pack up my things just as I'm about to head home. I remember that I have a club meeting after school today. Shouldering my bag, I make my way to the club room, which will be coming in future builds. Finally, it's time to go home. I say goodbye to my clubmates and hurry back to my house. With my power-walking determination, I arrive home in record time. After kicking off my shoes and throwing off my bag, I check the kitchen for a snack and find a cupcake with my name and frosting and a thank you note from Uncle Hajime telling me to enjoy it. This is awesome! The girls should forget their breakfast more often. Thanks, Uncle Hajime. With my belly full, I wonder what I want to do. Who should I hang out with? Are all these people in the house? Just wondering. I spot Erilynn in her room through the open door. She sits in front of her desk, her brows furrowed. Hey, Erilynn.
Oh, hello.
She briefly glances at me before looking back down at her paper. What are you reading?
I'm reviewing the syllabus for class because of something Jiro mentioned in our council meeting. Did you know we are required to complete mandatory volunteer hours?
That sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah, I think that's right.
Why did no one ever mention this before?
Because we have all year to finish it.
Well, I want to volunteer.
Right now?
Yes,
Really? Why?
because I understand the value and importance of giving back to the community. In Veldin, I took part in all of my family's volunteer efforts. We always got involved with worthy charities and philanthropies that worked hard to help those in need.
Nerd. I blink. That's not an answer I was expecting. Nerd. That's actually really great, nerd. She nods.
Besides, it reflects poorly if the grade representative procrastinates on fulfilling the required volunteer hours.
That makes sense too. I'm impressed Erilynn feels so strongly about giving back. It's a good thing to do, and something that we could all work towards doing more of. She's setting a good example for the rest of the first years. Okay, where do you want to volunteer?
Wherever needs help.
That doesn't narrow it down. There are a lot of places that need help. She waves her hand.
You know this place better than I do. You choose then.
Alright. I pull out my phone and do some digging. I know there are a lot of opportunities, but I don't know them off the top of my head. How about a soup kitchen? Park cleanup?
Maybe not.
Homeless shelter? She wrinkles her nose. I thought I was choosing. Let's see. Are you sure you don't want to choose? She keeps shooting down my every suggestion. Maybe she actually has an idea of what she wants to do. Okay, if none of those work, is there something else you had in mind?
No, I'm open to whatever you want to do.
Well, I thought the soup kitchen sounded pretty good. It has soup and everything. She makes a face. Or not? I look back at my list. Food pantry? She shakes her head.
Is there something a bit more social?
Social? What sort of volunteer work did you do in Velden?
We attended many charity balls and would visit hospitals to improve morale for those in recovery.
That's not really volunteering, that's more like making appearances. Erilynn crosses her arms.
It still made a difference to a lot of people.
I'm sure she did make a difference, but it seems like it's easy work. However, it's better not to argue. Don't want to be the gatekeeper of volunteering. Instead, I review my list. I know, how about an animal shelter? Erilynn perks up.
Yes, that's perfect.
A shelter nearby is having an adoption event at the park and needs volunteers. Erilynn stands to her feet and moves towards the door.
Let's go. The animals need us.
I quickly sign us up online before following Erilynn out of the house. Here I thought we'd be going to the old folks' home. You can learn some neat grifts from some of the old-timers, but that's apparently a different game. As we walk towards the park, I finish up our registration. It doesn't take us long before we hear the chorus of barks, meows, and chirps in a noisy symphony. Hey, this place looks familiar. Tents are spread out on the park lawn, each housing the different animals. Groups of people lean against the fencing, cooing and fawning over the potential pets. I lead Erilynn to the registration tent where a staff member checks us in. We read through a list and go through all the rules and regulations.
Okay, it looks like you're all set. You'll be stationed in the dog tent.
What exactly do you need us to do there?
You guys have the best job out of the bunch. You're here to socialize the dogs. Play with them, walk them, shower them with attention. Keep them happy and lively so they have a better chance of being adopted to their forever homes.
Sounds easy enough.
Yes, this sounds excellent.
Great! Now transfer that enthusiasm to the pups.
Afterwards, we're shuffled over to the dog tent. As soon as we enter, the dogs swarm us in an excited collection of furry paws and wagging tails. Erilynn giggles as she tries to pet each of them.
Wait. Line up and I'll get to you one by one. There are too many of you and only one of me.
With the help of a few other volunteers, we wrangle the dogs into a manageable group and circulate the tent. Whenever a potential adopter comes by, we make sure the dogs are happy and friendly. Erilynn remembers everything we learned at orientation and answers my questions people have about the adoption process. Or answers any questions people have about the adoption process. It's a lot easier than people anticipate, and after speaking with Erilynn, more than one family would leave with the dog they're ready to love. Erilynn sits on the grass beside the older dogs, gently stroking their fur while the head rests in her lap. It's sweet that she chooses to give her attention to the older dogs who are usually ignored due to their age. All the dogs are friendly except for one small corgi who sits alone in the corner. Anytime anyone approaches, the dog turns away. We watch as a couple of volunteers huff and ultimately leave it alone.
Ugh, what a bad attitude. No wonder this dog has been stuck here for so long.
I know. She refuses to engage with anyone. The shelter works so hard to try to get her adopted, but it's impossible when she just ignores everybody.
If she wants to be left alone, then wish granted.
Uh-huh.
The two volunteers walk out of earshot. I look over to the corgi in question. She hides deep in the corner of her tent, her body coiled into herself and her head tucked under.
We should go over there.
So tempting. We have adoring fans. I nod. Yeah, she looks really lonely.
It's our job to make every dog happy, and that includes her.
Slowly we approach the corgi, who looks up as we draw near. Hey there, doggy. She watches me warily. I'm a friend. I reach out my hand for her to sniff. She barely glances at it before she turns her nose away. Wow, this dog is somehow even more of a princess than Erilynn. Yep, there's no reasoning with this dog. Erilynn flicks her hair back and pushes me aside.
Let the expert handle this.
Since when did you become a dog whisperer?
Since I understand what a girl wants.
She offers the corgi a gentle smile.
Hi, I'm Erilynn.
The dog blinks up at Erilynn, slowly untangling herself. She takes one step closer, then another, sniffing curiously.
It's okay. I promise I won't hurt you.
The corgi allows Erilynn to approach and cautiously sniffs her hand. Then she bumps her head against Erilynn's palm, cuddling close to her. Erilynn giggles as she envelops the dog in a hug.
Aww.
Aw, those volunteers are wrong. She doesn't seem so bad. I reach out a hand and the corgi's gaze snaps up. She fixes me with a warning glare. Never mind.
She's just got high standards, don't you, you cute little ball of fluff?
The corgi wags her tail in delight.
Be careful! She doesn't like...
The staff member pauses, blinking at the scene before her.
Wait, you can hold her?
Yes.
The staff member's eyes widen.
Wow, that's amazing! what's your secret?
Nothing. I was just being myself.
Really? You must smell nice or something, because this girl won't let anyone else near her. Not even the other staff members. But she loves you.
Aw, she's actually really sweet.
I know. She's a sweetie at heart, but she hardly ever shows it.
The staff member smiles, watching the two of them.
You know, she's really taken a liking to you.
Erilynn nuzzles the pup.
I'm glad, because I like her too.
I've never seen her so expressive with anyone before. It'd be a shame to split you two up.
And that's my cue. The corgi cuddles Erilynn, eager to be closer to her.
I know this isn't why you came out today, but have you ever considered adoption?
Erilynn pauses.
I don't believe that's the best idea. I'm only here on an extended visit.
Oh, sure. I understand. If you'll be visiting here for a while, there's always the option to foster a dog instead.
She looks intrigued.
Foster?
Yep. More animals come in faster than we can adopt them out. Fostering pets helps us a lot by freeing up space. It also helps the animals become more comfortable around humans.
Erilynn glances at me. Fostering doesn't sound like a bad idea. It's impermanent, so Erilynn won't be abandoning a pet and would give the corgi a happier living environment. The two of them really seem to have hit it off. The corgi nestles against Erilynn, her tail wagging wildly as Erilynn strokes her fur. There's no way I can say no and be the bad guy. Oh, yes I can. If we promise to take care of the dog, I'm sure that Aunt Emiko and Uncle Hajime won't mind. They've been talking about how they'd love a pet for years. I think it's a great idea, but let me call Aunt Emiko and Uncle Hajime to ask. I step away and dial the number at the bakery.
Thank you for calling. This is Emiko speaking. How may I help you?
Hi, Aunt Emiko, it's Hiro. Her voice immediately softens.
Oh, hi, sweetie. Is everything okay?
Yeah, Erilynn and I are volunteering in a pet adoption event today.
Oh, that sounds lovely, dear. Are you enjoying yourselves?
It's been a lot of fun. There's this one dog who really seems to like Erilynn. We were wondering if it'd be okay to foster the dog for a short while. Aunt Emiko hesitates on the line.
Oh my. I know that Hajime and I talked about wanting a pet, but I just don't know if we have time for that.
You wouldn't have to do anything. Erilynn and I'll take care of her. I can tell it would make her happy. You should see the two of them together. It's like they're meant to be.
How long will the foster be for?
Only a couple weeks, maybe a month, even less time if she gets adopted first.
Well, let me talk to Hajime.
I wait as Aunt Emiko goes into the back. After a while, she returns to the phone.
You know what? If it will make Erilynn's time here that much better, then sure. We can see how well a pet integrates with the family, as we've talked about getting one for a while.
Thank you. You guys are the best. I'll go tell Erilynn the good news.
Okay. We can't wait to meet the new addition.
After I hang up the phone, I return to Erilynn. They said no. Aunt Emiko says it's fine with her if that's what you want to do. Erilynn bursts into a wide grin and addresses the staff member.
Yes, we'd love to foster her. What an ingenious suggestion.
That's great.
The staff member leads us to a table where we fill out the appropriate paperwork. When we're finished, Erilynn and I wave goodbye to everybody. The corgi ignores everyone who tries to interact with her, huddling close to Erilynn when anyone approaches. On our walk back, the dog keeps pace with Erilynn, her tongue hanging out as she enjoys the breeze. So, what are you going to name your new companion? Erilynn considers the question and smiles.
I have the perfect name. Denna.
The dog barks excitedly and wags her tail. Sounds like she approves.
Of course she does. She knows a good name when she hears it.
The house is empty when we arrive home. Erilynn takes the dog up to her room and I return to my own room. Finding a yawn, I decide to skip doing my homework tonight and leave it for the weekend. Instead, I relax by educating myself on the latest memes until my eyes droop. Then I get ready for bed and nestle under my blankets. Before I realize it, I'm fast asleep. Warm sunlight filters through my window and gently pulls me awake. Blinking my eyes open, I shift into a long stretch, feeling refreshed. If only every day was a weekend. Sleeping in is the best. I take my time getting ready before heading downstairs. Erilynn nearly pounces on me when I cross through the hall.
Finally? I thought you'd sleep forever.
I tried. It's the weekend. I'm allowed to sleep in. She waves her hand dismissively.
Never mind that. I've discovered who the amulet belongs to.
My heart stops. You have? Who?
Daisuke.
I blink. Really? Erilynn crosses her arms.
No, I just said his name for laughs and giggles. Yes, really?
I try to think critically about it. Daisuke as a Velden seems so random. Why do you think it's him?
Simple. He put in far too much effort to be on student council.
That doesn't mean anything. Jiro put so much effort into that election, but you don't think he's from Velden?
Yes, but Daisuke's a new student who was somehow elected into the role of vice president on the student council.
So, you're also a new student who was elected on the student council.
And I'm from Velden.
I open my mouth to retort, but stop. It's actually a good point. Erilynn grins smugly at my silence.
Have you finally seen the light?
So tempting. All I hear is that he's close to Erilynn. Too close. I narrow my eyes. It is a pretty big coincidence that he put so much effort into student council, a club that Erilynn just so happens to be in. And now they get to see each other at every meeting to talk and work together. I'll bet he even ran into me at the shrine on purpose as an excuse to get closer to her. I cross my arms. No way am I going to let that happen. I don't like this, not one bit.
Exactly. He's very suspicious.
Too suspicious. She tosses her hair back.
But not to worry. I have a plan.
What is it?
We confront him, of course.
Do you really think he'll admit everything so easily?
Yes.
How?
We catch him by surprise. That's why I need you to set up a meeting with him.
Me? I barely know him.
That's the point. He certainly won't be suspicious if the request to meet comes from you.
I'm pretty sure that'd be more suspicious. Why can't you just say you want to talk about student council stuff?
The student council doesn't have anything pressing enough to warrant meeting on the weekend.
I pause thinking. Erilynn furrows her delicate brows. I know. We can have Kosei set it up. They're in the soccer club together and practice all the time. Slowly, Erilynn nods.
Yes, he certainly wouldn't suspect us to accost him then.
A small bark from the doorway catches our attention.
Oh, Denna needs me.
I'll call Kosei and set the whole thing up. She nods quickly before hurrying to her dog. Never seen Erilynn so eager about anything before. Wish she'd run to greet me like that. I dial Kosei's number and he answers the phone immediately.
Hey man, what's up?
Hey, could you do me a favor?
Of course! Anything for my bro.
Can you set up a time for us to play soccer with Daisuke tomorrow? There's a second of surprised silence.
Yeah, sure. You wanted to take him up on his offer then?
Not exactly. I explain everything to Kosei. When I finish, he lets out a low whistle.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I'm friends with 2 Veldens!
Really? That's what you got from all of this? No curiosity about how Daisuke got here or what he's doing at our school?
Yeah, all of that too.
Anyway, will you do it?
Yep, leave it to me.
I grin. Thanks, man. I knew I could count on you.
Anytime.
We say goodbye and hang up. Kosei said he'd text me once everything was confirmed. My stomach grumbles. Erilynn cornered me before I could have breakfast. I head to the kitchen and grab something to eat. After I'm finished, I clean up. The rest of my day is open. Maybe someone would like to hang out. They don't give you a lot of variety here, do they? I think Erilynn ran off towards the living room earlier today when she went to find Denna. Maybe she's still there. I make my way over. When I arrive, I find the two of them situated by the couch. Erilynn's arm points out in front of her and her voice is commanding.
Denna, sit.
Denna yips, wagging her tail, and jumps to lick Erilynn's finger.
No, sit, Denna.
The pup cocks her head to the side and blinks. The wagging of her tail slowly down in confusion.
Almost there. Sit.
As Erilynn points at the floor, Denna leaps up again, nudging Erilynn's hand with her nose. She crouches back on her hind legs and sticks her butt up in the air, ready to play some more. Her tail waves high in the air like a flag.
No, why do you keep jumping? I could not have been any more clear with my instructions.
Erilynn falls back onto the couch with a deep sigh.
Oh, Denna. Why is it that everything I've tried so far has failed? What do you need to understand?
A bribe? Generally some sort of treat. What are you doing? Erilynn looks up, finally noticing me.
I'm teaching Denna new tricks.
Yeah? What has she learned so far? She stands back up, holding her head high, and once more points to the ground.
Sit, Denna.
The corgi barks in response.
No, not speak. Denna, if you sit, then I will have the royal tailors fashion you the most haute couture sweater. How does that sound?
Denna pounces on Erilynn, resting her paws on Erilynn's thighs. She barks twice.
Excellent. So, we'll try again. Denna, sit.
The pup doesn't move.
Alright, so you don't like sweaters. What about a diamond-encrusted collar? Would you like that?
Denna cocks her head to the side. Erilynn is completely out of her depth here. It's obvious she's never trained a pet before. Yeah, that's not gonna work either. Erilynn sighs.
Nothing I've tried has worked. I'm running out of ideas.
Maybe I can help. She looks curious.
Perhaps. What would you suggest?
So, the Hui has drew me in on this one. A devilish smile spreads across my face as an idea forms in my head. You need to get down on your hands and knees.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you gotta get down to her level. Denna's probably confused because you're a tall human. You've got to act like a dog so she'll know what to do.
Do you believe so? It would make sense. Denna's usually so good.
Erilynn looks thoughtful.
I suppose it doesn't hurt to try it.
Erilynn lowers herself onto her hands and knees. I try to keep my composure as I enjoy the full view of her ample chest and her delectable backside arched deliciously in front of me. They actually have a CG for this. If I were to die right now, I would die a happy man.
Is this right?
Quickly, I clear my throat. Yeah, that's perfect. Denna pads towards Erilynn, sniffing at her curiously.
Oh, I think it's working.
You're definitely working it.
What?
I mean, yes, of course it is.
Denna, I have something for you.
The pup barks, wagging her tail.
But you'll have to sit first, okay? Denna, sit.
The corgi cocks her head to the side, raising a paw.
No, sit.
After a moment, Denna sits. Erilynn breaks into a wide grin and opens her hand, showing the dog a treat.
Yay! You're such a good girl, Denna.
Sensing Erilynn's enthusiasm, Denna stands back up and begins licking her face.
Ah!
You know, while you're down there, you can teach her a couple other tricks, too.
Oh, such as?
If you try to wag your tail, you can get Denna to copy you.
Really?
To my surprise and absolute delight, Erilynn wiggles her butt back and forth. I try to hold back as I admire the delicate jiggle. I lied a moment ago. I didn't really know what true happiness was until right now. Now I can really die happy.
Come on, Denna. Let's see you wag your tail.
Yeah, Denna, go on. Don't ruin this for me. I could watch this forever.
She's doing it.
Denna watches Erilynn curiously but wags her tail. What? I mean, yeah, I told you.
Are there more tricks?
Dogs respond really well to yoga. There's a reason why there's a pose called the downward dog. Erilynn inverts and pushes her butt up in the air. Yeah, that's it. While I'm renewing my appreciation of this glorious view, I suddenly notice a pair of angry eyes.
You deviant!
Uh-oh, I didn't think about how Erilynn could see through her inverted position. Curses. She stands to her feet and sighs, shaking her head.
I knew I shouldn't have listened to you.
It was a legitimate method of training. Denna did sit. Erilynn pointedly ignores me and faces the dog instead.
Let's try this once more.
Erilynn clears her throat.
Denna, sit.
The pup blinks at her, then sits.
You did it, Denna!
Erilynn bursts into a flurry of excitement.
Did you see that? She did it!
I can't stop grinning as I watch Erilynn clap happily. She looks so much gentler without her commanding presence.
Oh, thank you, thank you!
To my surprise, she throws her arms around me in a tight embrace.
I'm so happy! Denna finally did it!
Warmth blossoms in my chest as I hug her back. She smells sweet like flowers, and she feels soft in my arms. I knew we could do it. All too soon she pulls away, her cheeks stained a deep red. She clears her throat and holds her head high.
I appreciate your help with Denna.
No problem. An awkward silence settles over us. Guess I'll leave you two be then. I'm sure you got more training to do.
You could stay.
She blushes after blurting out the words.
Don't misunderstand. I only mean that you occasionally do come up with good ideas, and maybe I could use them for Denna.
Yeah, those good ideas are the product of my off days, what can I say? I can't help but smile. Erilynn tries hard to play it off, but her rosy cheeks give away her true feelings. Sure. A sly smile spreads across her face.
Except this time, you'll do the demonstration and I'll watch.
What?
It's only fair. And after learning from you, I have lots of ideas.
What exactly is she thinking? Like what?
I believe the next pose was downward dog?
Her smile broadens. What did I get myself into? We continue training and playing with Denna until she yawns, her puppy dog eyes beginning to droop. She fights to stay awake, but as soon as Erilynn puts her on her lap, Denna flops over and falls asleep.
I think that's enough for today.
Yeah, she's exhausted.
I'll go put her to bed.
I nod. After scooping the sleepy pup into her arms, Erilynn leaves to put Denna in her bed, and I return to my room. I start on my homework, but I'm soon interrupted by a beep from my phone. There's a text from Kosei. Tomorrow evening, meet at the park. I reply back with a confirmation, then I knock on Erilynn's door. Erilynn opens the door and shushes me with a whisper.
Quiet. Denna's asleep.
I peek inside and spot Denna curled up over the covers. She must be tuckered out from all that training today. Sorry, just want to tell you that we're all set for tomorrow. Erilynn's mood changes.
You're referring to our encounter with Daisuke?
Yeah, Kosei confirmed. We'll meet him at the park tomorrow evening. She nods.
Good.
Denna stirs on the bed. Her little leg kicks and she barks softly in her sleep.
Now, if you'll excuse us, my little princess needs her rest.
Princess? Really? After flashing a smile, Erilynn closes the door. Wow, she really cares about that dog. Well, excuse me, princess. Fighting back a yawn, I get changed and then slip into bed. I have no idea how the discussion will go tomorrow, but I'm ready for it either way. It's about time we got some answers. Soon I drift to sleep.